As the COVID-19 pandemic continues to threaten the world, numerous dilemmas are outshined by it. People are too busy struggling and surviving their everyday lives with the fear of getting the virus. Also, this pandemic brought out various injustices and inequalities in our society. One example is the case of domestic violence. In the Philippines, lockdown or community quarantine was imposed last March 2020. Residents in places that are under the Enhanced Community Quarantine or ECQ are restricted to go outside. With this, perpetrators and abusers found the opportunity to do their abusive behavior. Thus, the number of cases of domestic violence increased. Domestic violence is defined as the violent and abusive behavior directed by one family or household member against another. According to the report NPillstar.com, there are 4,260 cases of violence against women and children reported to the police during the first few months of lockdown. In line with this, the Commission on Human Rights or CHR called out for the attention of the public as well as the authorities for stronger measures to address the increasing number of domestic violence and abuse suffered mostly by women, children, and members of LGBTQ community. The lockdown contributes to the worsening condition of the victims because they cannot go outside and seek for help. The Philippine Commission on Women also continues to monitor and assist women who are victims of domestic violence. Even though police and Women and Children Protection Desk are working with the local government units to ensure the safety of women and children, victims are still afraid of complaining and seeking help from the authorities in the state of public health emergency. Meanwhile, CHR launched an online platform where people can report incidents of gender-based violence. This platform can help the victims have the courage to report their abusers.
However, this kind of dilemma has already been long overdue, but still neglected by the state long before the pandemic happened. It has already been designed that many gender freedoms were already restricted and lockdown just made it worse. It can be blamed in the social, cultural, religious, political structure in the Philippines where women are treated as inferior compared to men. These societal issues affect me in a way that, as a woman, I cannot bear to think that my fellow women are suffering harassment and violence in the hands of abusive men. As I experienced to be bullied when I was a child, I know the feeling of keeping the problem to myself. I did not have the courage back then to tell other people that I am being bullied. But now that I realize that it is better to speak up rather than keeping the entire burden to myself and hold the abusers accountable. I cannot fathom to think how victims of domestic violence manage to carry the burden of being abused. Yet, certain circumstances restrict them to fight back, just like the knockdown or ECQ that left them with no choice but to be stuck at home with their abusers.